Sometimes reading books does not make me happy. One of the coolest things about being a book talk dude is I get to read a lot of books. I read a lot of books before I started TikTok, but that's not the point. And because I am someone who reads a lot of books and subsequently tells you about them, I have a personal rule where I do not DNF anything. I feel like if I DNF anything, I can't tell you about it in a way that feels fair. So every once in a while, I am forced to bite the bullet and get through something really terrible like a Penelope Douglas book. But a very strange phenomenon that I've caught on to in my life is that although I read a lot of books, not nearly as many as some of you maniacs, the amount of books that I read that bring me joy, like can't pry the book from my hands, think about it all the time, ear to ear smile when I flip the pages, that kind of stuff. The amount of books that I read that actually bring me joy is a much smaller number than I thought it would be when I started thinking about it. Now, reading in itself makes me happy. If I am reading, I am happy. But since I've started reading Empire of Silence, I am reminded of what it feels like to read something that makes me joyful. And I started thinking back to everything I read this year and tried to nail down what other books brought a smile to my face. And the part here that is particularly peculiar is that I read a lot of really good books. Well written, meaningful, impactful, just plain old entertaining. But that does not necessarily always correlate to a smile on my face. Before Empire of Silence, the last thing was The Black Tongue Thief, which I read a mere 2 months ago. But in those 2 months, I read 7 other books. And in a combination of what I read, how much I read, and the amount of time I had to read while on tour and dealing with other life things, I kind of lost a little bit of the fun. I went back through my reading log for this year and took a look, and I have finished 31 books this year. 6 have made me happy, as I am describing in this video. That's only 19%. Ooh. Black Tongue Thief, The Unworthy, Full Moon and my main man Harry Dresden, Between Two Fires, of course, as well as the incredible Hunger of the Gods and The Fury of the Gods. And the part that I find so interesting is that I've read some incredible books this year. Infinite Jest, Moby Dick, Grapes of Wrath, The Sound and the Fury, Project Hail Mary. Great books, worthy of their hype and their popularity and their place in the Library of Congress. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they get a place in my heart. There isn't actually a point to this video. I just thought that this was interesting. And you are who I talk to, so I am talking to you about it. Bye.